Today, we're going to dive into a simple, but honestly revolutionary way of thinking about how work actually gets done. It's a philosophy that has totally transformed everything from manufacturing to services to offices, all by tackling this one massive, invisible problem that we all face: waiting.
We have all felt this, right? That report just sitting on someone's desk, the hundreds of unread emails in an inbox, sales orders just stuck in a database somewhere. This quote from Lean Six Sigma for Service just hits the nail on the head. It's not that people aren't working hard, it's that the work itself is spending almost its entire life just sitting there, waiting for the next step.
I mean, let that number sink in for a second. Over 90%. In the Lean philosophy, this waiting isn't just, an annoyance. It's literally defined as waste, an activity that eats up resources but adds absolutely zero value for the customer. It's just pure expensive delay.
So, how do we fight this waste? Well, that brings us to the Toyota production system, which a lot of people now just call Lean. And it's a completely different way of seeing and organizing work, designed with one main goal: to relentlessly hunt down and eliminate that waste.
This slide shows the difference so clearly. That traditional approach on the left, it probably looks pretty familiar. It's a big, top-down project, often forced on people. But the Lean process on the right is just fundamentally different. It's not some one-and-done project. It's a continuous journey of learning, of experimenting. And look at this last part. Leaders go first. It's all about building a culture, not just rolling out a new tool. So where do we start on this journey? Well, the first major principle is achieving something called flow. And this means changing the fundamental way work moves through a process, getting away from working in these big, clunky batches. The ideal state, the goal we're shooting for, is called one-piece flow. Just imagine processing one invoice, or one customer request, or building one part at a time, and it moves smoothly from start to finish. This is the complete opposite of how most of us work, right? We tend to gather a big pile of stuff before we move it to the next step.
Okay, now this might seem a little crazy at first, but switching to flow can initially make your process look less efficient, and this slide from the Toyota way shows us why. Let's say you have 4 steps, and each one is 90% reliable. In a traditional batch system, you've got tons of inventory to buffer any problems, so you still get about 90% output. But when you switch to one-piece flow, you get rid of those buffers, and now the true system efficiency is exposed. It's 90% of 90% of 90%, which is only about 66%. See, flow doesn't break your process. It just shines a giant spotlight on the hidden problems so that people can finally fix them.
So if we create this super fast one-piece flow system, what's to stop it? How do we control it so it doesn't just churn out a mountain of things nobody actually needs yet?
And this is the next critical question we have to ask, because making things before they're needed is one of the absolute biggest forms of waste in any system. It just leads to piles of inventory, complexity, and all the problems we were trying to get away from in the first place.
The answer is making a shift from a push to a pull system. In a push system, you basically do your work and then you shove it downstream, whether the next person is ready for it or not. And that's how you get these huge piles of work in process. But in a pull system, nothing gets made until the next step in the process signals that it has capacity and is ready for it. The work is literally pulled by actual, real-time demand. And the classic tool for managing a pull system is Kanban. It literally just means signboard in Japanese. It can be something as simple as an empty bin that signals, hey, I need to be refilled, or it could be a card that gets sent back up the line to authorize making the next item. It's just a simple visual signal that keeps the entire system in perfect sync.
All right, so we've got flow, and we've got a pull system to control it. This minimizes queues for sure, but it doesn't always get rid of them completely. So what do we do with those small controlled lines that might be left? How do we bring order to that final bit of potential chaos?
I mean, think about it. If you have a few tasks waiting, which one do you do next? The easiest one? The one for the manager who shouted the loudest? You can see how without a clear rule, even a pull system can become unfair and totally unpredictable.
And the answer is so elegantly simple. First in, first out. FIFO. You just work on things in the exact order they arrived. It's the same simple rule as a fair line at the grocery store. It's the discipline that makes sure the whole pull system stays orderly and predictable from start to finish.
And this is why such a simple rule is so incredibly powerful. First, FIFO ensures fairness, which is huge for team morale. It also creates predictable lead times, because you know things won't get randomly shoved to the back of the line. It prevents what we call cherry picking,
where people only grab the easy tasks, leaving the hard ones to get older and older. And, just like everything else in Lean, it makes backlogs and problems immediately visible for everyone to see. But, and this is so important to understand, these tools, Flow, Pull, FIFO, they aren't magic wands. They only work because of the people who use them. This whole system is designed to empower people, not to replace them.
This quote really gets to the heart of it. A lean leader doesn't just hand down procedures from on high. Their real job is to coach and empower their teams to experiment, to adapt, and to really own their own processes. The system is built on this foundation of respect for people, and the belief that the people closest to the work are the ones who know best how to improve it.
And that brings us to the cultural engine that drives this whole thing, Kaizen, or continuous improvement. This isn't about some massive once-a-year project. It's the idea that everyone from the person on the front line all the way to the CEO is involved every single day in finding and solving problems, making their work just a little bit better, a little bit smoother, a little bit safer.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Now that you can see it, where's the waiting in your world? Is it in your inbox, in your projects, in your daily routines? Because just identifying that waste, that is the very first step on the journey from chaos to flow.